you guys ready for this? It's gonna be crazy. Give me just a moment. Let's see, let's get crazy. Okay, here we go. Wow, we're just gonna use some natural light today. I made a list. Oh my gosh. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is not my first YouTube channel because when I was like 16, I think 16 or 17, I think I was 16, I really wanted to start putting videos out, and so I made a YouTube video. If you can find it, good for you. I don't think it's gonna be that challenging, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, YouTube, this is not my first experience. This is not my first, like, you know, go around with YouTube. YouTube and I, we have a history. I've been trying to, like, get my courage up to, like, make videos again, but then I get anxious and I get nervous. And then I freak out and I'm like, people are not gonna like me, they're not gonna watch my videos, whatever. But then at the same time, it's like, I want to create stuff that, like, I actually care about, and that it doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't really matter. If people watch, it's really just like, do I enjoy this? Yes. So I should just do it. That's my, like, long-winded way of saying hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. That's it. That's the long way of saying it. My love is coming on. Those lonely days are now. Oh my gosh, this has been sitting here. I'm not sponsored by Celsius, but I do consume their beverages on a semi-regular basis. I don't know what that means for you, but to me that means there was a phase of my life where I was drinking them maybe once a day. But I'm at the point now where I don't think I've consumed one of these in a few months. So, and I've actually never had the sparkling ones, and I've also never had the kiwi guava flavor, which is this flavor. But I do enjoy these for workouts, like right before as a pre-workout, and I'm hoping to work out later today. It's just, ooh. Labels out. We're starting the video now. Welcome to my welcome. I'm gonna just say that as many times as it feels, till it feels right, you know? Welcome. All right. I just need more. So I'm a little nervous. Will caffeine help with the nerves, you might be asking? We'll find out together, won't we? All right, I have like a whole cart. Can you see these already? Oh my gosh. I've literally been, oh, you might be able to see these already. Anywho, let's get to my recent book haul. You know what? Let's just do the whole thing. So let's just round them up, because I have so many other books that you have not seen. Popping myself in. If you hear a buzzing or a shh, do you hear that? It is my fan. It is pointing directly at me. I don't have air conditioning in my apartment. It's hot. It's summer. So I'm gonna start with, there's 5 books that I have been gifted. 5 books. Did I say hello and welcome? I think I did. It's a blur at this point. Welcome to my brain. So let's start with the 5 books that have been gifted to me. So let me start with the one that my mom gave me. So my mom isn't like a huge reader. She started to get into books recently, and anyway, she gifted me American Dirt. She said she read it. It was really good. It's about this girl who's immigrating to the United States and the whole journey that goes with that. So that's from my mom. And then from one of my friends, she gifted me, she read this book and she said it was really good, and she asked me if I'd heard of it, and I said yeah, but I haven't read it. And she goes, oh, perfect, I'll give it to you when I'm done. And I guess it's like a historical fiction. But anyway, it's All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Oh, I didn't say the author for this one. Janine Cummins, sorry. This one is Anthony Doerr. I don't know much about this book. It won a Pulitzer Prize. People are seemingly liking it. So we'll see. That's another one. And then the next three were gifted to me by my father. He buys duplicates of books a lot. So anyway, the first one is one of his favorite novelists, apparently. It's Vince Flynn, Kill Shot. I've never read this book. I don't think I've ever read a Vince Flynn book. I've read books by James Patterson before, but I've never read Vince Flynn. So it'll be interesting to see. I presume this is a spy novel. Yep. I don't even need to like read it. I just know. I read these usually really quickly when I have read James Patterson or like Sandra Brown style. Well, Sandra Brown's a little different. Or maybe like Lisa Scottoline, however you say her name. I read those books pretty quickly, so usually I just like flip through them and just speed read them. So I'll probably do something similar with that. And then the next one is another spy book. So you'll see a theme. If I get more books from my dad, you'll see a theme. These are the books he likes to get. But this one I'm actually kind of excited about because it's one of my favorite. Like the original movie is one of my favorite movies, The Bourne Ultimatum. No. What's the first one? Supremacy. Bourne Supremacy. This is the first one. Isn't it? Oh my gosh, I have to Google it. Oh no, The Bourne Identity. Bourne Supremacy was the second one by Robert Ludlum. So what's the order? Bourne Identity is first. And then I have Bourne Supremacy. I don't have Bourne Identity, but I've seen the movie. So I might have to get the Bourne Identity. Well, that might be a fun vlog, is doing Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, and then Bourne Ultimatum in like one reading vlog. That might be fun. And then this other one that my dad gave me, he said he had it already, but I think because he found out that it's about like spirituality, he was like not interested, but yeah, I could be wrong. So this one's called Ordinary Grace by William Kent Kruger. Hold for sound. Swell. So, I don't know anything. It's about a guy, a preacher's son, death surrounds him. It's told from his perspective, I think. So, interesting. I don't know anything about that book, but those were all books that were gifted to me. So moving on to books that I have purchased myself. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I've finished this already. I did also annotate just a little bit in here. I think this is actually my annotating key right here for this book. But anyway, if you are all over Book Talk or BookTube, you know about this book. I think I gave it either 2 or 3 stars. I don't remember. I didn't love it. I didn't really like it even that much. I had a lot of problems with it. Actually, I think I'm going to be editing a reading vlog where I talk about my thoughts about that. So I'll hold off on talking about it too much, but didn't really like it. So anyway, that's that. That's The Love Hypothesis. So these are books that I got a bit ago, but I don't think I've talked about them. So, and I haven't read any of them. So anyway, let's go. The classic Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I've never read this book before, but I'm super interested in reading it. I've been getting into more like, not necessarily classic literature, but like semi-classic. Is that a rating? Is that a classification? But I'm really getting into like literary fiction and stuff like that because I just find that the writing is really good. Like I've been reading War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, and by I've been reading, I mean I've read, I don't know, like that much of it, like literally that much. But anyway, I just find the writing really like, I feel like it's making me smarter just reading it. But anyway, so Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, I got that. I also I've seen this one sort of floating around Book Talk, I think. It's called The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. I don't know that much about it. I do know that it's about Pompeii and like slavery and prostitution and stuff. So I do think that this cover is very interesting. I really like learning about like mythology and stuff like that, even though I don't subscribe to those beliefs. I do enjoy reading about it. So I'm excited to see what this has in store, and yeah, we'll see. The next book that I'll show you is, you might have already seen it, but I was inspired to get this book because of one of the booktubers that I like watching. Her name's Sydney Page Books. She did like a whole like reading vlog about this one particular author, and so I got Final Girls by Riley Sager. I've never read a Riley Sager book. I have lately not been like super into thrillers, but I think it's just the time of year. I am a seasonal mood reader, so I only like to read certain kinds of books certain times through the year. This is definitely gonna be a September, October, November read if I can get my act together, to be perfectly honest with you. Next one that I have here is called Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I really don't know much about this book. I think it's a YA, yeah, it says ages 14 and up. It's a YA fantasy, I believe. Oh, that font is super small. I'm really old. I'm gonna have to read it so close to my face. Like, look how small that font is. It just feels small, and the spacing. But it's a thick one, it's a thick boy. I've heard mixed reviews, so we'll see. I've been getting more into fantasy lately, so I'm excited to give that one a try. This next one is definitely going to be an October read. I'm obsessed with vampires. Like, I don't know why, I just am. So this one I've heard mixed things about as well. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I'm super interested to read this. I've heard mixed reviews. I do also love that it takes place in Charleston, and my family lives there, so I love that. But yeah, that's the next one. And this next one that I got is called Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. I don't know much about this book. It feels like a dark academia. So it is a thick boy. Like, this is, she thick. It's almost 600 pages and it's a baddie, but I'm excited to read it. I like reading big books. I like big books and I cannot lie. That was so dumb. It's so good. All right, so the next grouping that I'm gonna show ya, this actually is a recent purchase. My most recent Barnes & Noble purchase, which was a couple weeks ago. I really need to do my nails, so I'm annoyed. I got Maya Angelou's poems. I'm not really a big poem person, but from what I've read from Maya Angelou, I love her, so I got that. This is gonna be a part of my a vlog coming up. So I got Daisy Jones and the Six. I've read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo before. I think I might actually have a reading vlog talking about that book. But anyway, I got that. I also have this book, Verity by Colleen Hoover. I almost said something that was not true. I think I've read 2 books of hers already. It Ends With Us. That might be the only one, actually. I don't think I've read any others. So this is another Colleen Hoover. I haven't read much of hers. As It Ends With Us was very good, but I've heard this is a thriller. And It Ends With Us is not a thriller. So it'll be interesting to see her different styles of writing for the different genres. So I'm excited about that. These are also recent purchases from Barnes & Noble. I'm in the process of going to school. Well, I'm not in school yet, but I have applied to schools to be a teacher, so for high school. So I wanted to get some books that would be good to read throughout that program, because I want to teach English and history. So I got The History of the World in Bite-Sized Chunks. I don't know much about this book, but I do know that I need some guidance when it comes to just remember, helping me remember things that I've learned from a long time ago. So I got this. I also purchased, which is kind of funny that I got this because I don't know if I need it, but I think it'll be helpful at a certain point. So I got How to Read Literature Like a Professor, a lively and entertaining guide to reading between the lines by Thomas C. Foster. He is a professor, an English lit professor. So I think this will be good as like a reference to when I'm reading literature. Then this is from history. This was a recommendation that I saw from a teacher. I think it's Too Cool for Middle School. That might be her YouTube name. I don't know her actual, like her name, but she recommended 1491, New Revelations of the Americas Before Columbus by Thomas C. Mann. Is that the same guy? No, but it's two Thomas C's. How weird. So I've heard really good things. I have started reading. I'm not very far, but yeah, interesting. I also got this one. I haven't heard anything about this book. I just was at the bookstore and I saw it and I was like, I want to read that. It was also part of the buy one get one 50% off. If you ever want to sucker me into buying things that I don't need, mark it as a discount. Even if it's like 10% off, I'll be like, wow, that's a really good deal. I get suckered by people at stores all the time. I also got Facing the Mountain, an inspiring story of Japanese American patriots in World War II. I think I've mentioned before earlier in this video, but I have a strange like fascination. I wouldn't even say strange. I just have a fascination with World War II. So anytime I see anything about World War II, I'm like, I need to read it. I need to watch it. I watch a lot of weird documentaries. Not weird. I keep saying weird. It's my own defense mechanism of like trying to make it sound like I'm not a nerd, but I am. So anyway, I watch a lot of documentaries and shows and stuff like that about World War II because I just find it so fascinating. So anyway, I picked this book up. So this is called Animal Farm by George Orwell. I also have 1984. I have not read it, which is bad, I know. But anyway, so I got that. It was a recommendation for maybe history or English, I'm not sure, but it's not long. I could finish it in a day for sure. So there's that. I also got this one. I got at Target, not Barnes and Noble. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I don't know anything really about it. I think it's a YA maybe, or like a young adult. That is YA. Are you joking? That's embarrassing. It's fine, we all do it every day. Yeah, so I love thrillers or like drama, thriller, comedies, so I hope this is funny. It seems like it might be, but it's also a mystery and I like mysteries. So the next one that I got was also one of the like buy one get one 50% off sucker deals that I fall for every single time. But this one just sounded interesting. I don't really know anything about this story at all. So I just thought it sounded fun. So this is The Corporation, an epic story of the Cuban-American underworld by T.J. English. I'll just read the first paragraph of the synopsis. In April of 1961, boats quietly approached the southern coast of Cuba. One of the Cuban exiles on board was Jose Miguel Battle, who had jumped at the opportunity to reclaim his country. But the Bay of Pigs invasion failed spectacularly, a betrayal that set in motion the creation of one of the most powerful and dangerous mobs in American history. So that paragraph sold me on getting this book, so I'm excited to read it whenever I hopefully can. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some fantasy. I have a serious problem. Literally just grabbed like a zillion books. Okay. This is so bad. I just need a little. Okay, here we go. Let's just show the people. Let's just show everybody how bonkers we are and how we like to spend that cash. Okay. This is okay. Let me just preface, like, all of these books are over the course of like, I mean, it's probably been since like January and it's July. So I've accumulated this many books in 5 to 6 months. It's not that bad, right? It's not that bad. So the next two books that I'm going to talk about are a duology. They're also part of the Grishaverse. So it's Six of Crows and Cricket Kingdom. I read, what did I read? Did I talk about these books already? I feel like I did in another thing. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I might be crazy. But I read Shadow and Bone trilogy and I really liked it. It brought me, I know a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about Shadow and Bone, but the thing that I will say that's positive is that Shadow and Bone, the trilogy, is what like brought my love for reading like back to life. So I will forever be indebted to Leigh Bardugo for like pulling me out of the like reading rut that I had been in for like years, and I'm really, really grateful that I discovered those books. I've heard really good things about this one. I've heard sort of mixed things about this one. So anyway, I want to be able to read these within like a weekend or something, or like a week if I have time. I read fast, but when I annotate, I don't read that fast. Maybe. Next is just the first book in a series. It's called Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I've heard really good things about it. I don't know that much about it, but I just bought the first one because I don't know how I'm gonna like it. You can tell that I don't have that much restraint for everything else, but I do with this apparently. So I already have the first book in this series, which I read in the span of 2 hours, or 3, because I like, oh my gosh, I've said this word so many times today and I still can't get it right. Speed read? I speed read it. I was speed reading it. That's not the correct thing, I think, but whatever. I read it ACOTAR, and so I got A Court of Mist and Fury, because I've heard this one is the best one out of it, and that's book number 2. So I'm interested to see what this is, but I'm also going to reread ACOTAR before I read this, because I read it so fast that I feel like I don't really remember what happens, and I'm also going to read it as part of another vlog with Daisy Jones and the Six. It's a whole thing. So anyway, got that. The next 6 books are part of like a universe, essentially. They're not part of the same series, but they're part of a universe altogether. So I have the Mistborn, like the first 3 books, Mistborn, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages. So I was telling a friend of mine that I started reading another Brandon Sanderson book, and he said, no, don't do that. He said, read Mistborn. I can't remember if he said read the trilogy first, the first 3, or if you just read this first before you read the other ones. But anyway, he said that there's like a lot of references to people, so I got these because even like the first, like I think it was either like the prologue or the first chapter of the other book that I read, like sold me on Brandon Sanderson, like sold me on his writing. And I think that's like, it's just been really cool to see my taste become like so into fantasy because of certain writers. So it's awesome. The next grouping is going to be part of that world. This is the Way of Kings, the Stormlight Archives. So this is the one that I started reading, and I annotated a little bit of it, but I'm gonna go back to it after I read the Mistborn stuff. So Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, and Oathbringer. I have all 3 of these. I like to buy things. I can't explain it. I'm very, very excited to get to those. All right, next I'm going to talk about, let's talk about Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I've heard mixed things about this. I'm not anticipating that I'm going to love this, so it'll be interesting. This is like another one of those like book talky, booktube popular books, so we'll see. Next I have this book that I just kind of saw at Barnes & Noble a couple months ago, and I was like, that looks interesting. And it's by the same writer as Cinder, which has been recommended to me by my friend, and she also gave me that book a while ago. So I got Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I just read the back, and it looks kind of interesting. I don't know much about it, to be perfectly honest. It's another YA, I think. Seems like young adult fantasy is gonna be my jam for a little bit, but yeah, that's that. Next, I have I think it's a duology. I don't think there's a 3rd book, but I could be wrong. It's a duology. So this is by Rebecca Ross, The Queen's Rising, and then The Queen's Resistance. I don't know anything about these books. I saw the covers, and because I am what's the word I'm looking for? Shallow. Because I'm a shallow person, I was like, those look cool, so I need to buy them. I literally know nothing. Summer solstice, Brianna desires only two things: to master her passion, to be chosen by a patron. Don't know what that means. So I assume there's magic. I assume it's a fantasy. I assume it's also young adult. Let's see if there's romance. There's probably romance. Yeah, that should be fun. I'm gonna talk about a trilogy that's like a highly discussed and also a little controversial, I think. So it is The Cruel Prince. What is this one? The Wicked King, and then The Queen of Nothing. I have all three of them. Because like I said, I have a problem when it comes to buying things. I like to buy everything all the time. So basically I'm on a hardcore book buying ban. And by hardcore, I mean, it's not that hardcore, but it's a light ban. For me, I need like soft boundaries and hard boundaries. Anyway, I've heard really mixed things. Some people really like it, some people really hate them. So that might be a vlog at some point, I don't know. We'll just play it by ear, you know? I don't want to get too serious. These are the last two, I think. So, did I get drum roll? So I have the first book in a duology. I believe it's a duology. This is The Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I've heard very good things. Actually, I've heard mixed things. So we'll see. We'll see. That's all I have to say. We'll see. It's a fat one. I have been purchasing some large books lately. So this is 799 pages. How annoying is that? Why can't it just be 800? Anyway, I'm kind of excited, but I'm also kind of not, because I wasn't a big fan of ACOTAR, but I've also heard that that's one of, like, not one of the best books that she's ever written, so that could be why, but doesn't matter. We got it. We'll read it at some point. And then this last one is, actually I have three more that I can talk about, but I don't have them with me right now. So this last one was, I think it's a Clockwork Reader's like favorite book of the year or something like that. It's called Sorcery of Thrones. I literally know almost nothing about this book other than what she sort of shared in her video, but I don't like spoilers when I read books, except when I'm actually reading it. Then I like to look at pages in the back because I don't like suspense sometimes, but sometimes I do. So anyway, yeah, it's really pretty. I got the hardcover because I don't have a lot of hardcovers, so I figured that'd be nice to have a hardcover of this. And then let me talk about the other three books. I also have, from Book of the Month, I used somebody's code. I don't know whose code I used, but I used somebody's code. And I wasn't super into all of them, but I did see one book that kind of caught my eye the most, and it was Upgrade by Blake Crouch. I will put a picture of the book, maybe. I don't know. I don't know much about it. It is a sci-fi book, I believe. So because I'm into like fantasy, I thought maybe I would like sci-fi. So we'll see how that one goes. And then I also got from Amazon, I purchased Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think that's going to be my third Taylor Jenkins Reid book that I'll have, but I've heard good things about that one. A lot of people seem to like that one. I don't necessarily know what it's about, but I like to follow trends on occasion, so we'll see. And then I also got the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Again, I think there's like there's something about magic in that one. It's a fantasy book. I think there might be romance to it. I'm not certain. But I've also heard really good things about that one. So that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way through, I hope that you enjoyed. I hope if you're reading any of these books, let me know. I got a little comment section down below that you can mention. I have an Instagram. It's called booksncoffeewitht because I enjoy books and coffee. Oh yeah, that's really it. I hope you, I don't know how to close this, but thanks for watching. I appreciate it if you made it all the way through the end of the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. All of those things will help me and my channel, so I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful night, day, evening, whatever. And I'll catch you in my next video where I'm maybe reading one of these books, or I'm maybe reading one of the other books that I purchased years ago and just haven't read yet. So, anyway, have a lovely day. I love you all. Thanks for watching.
That means it may not be what's best for you. I gotta be selfish here.